It's been a very long time since I last did this. Let's see if I remember how to. Alright, so you're looking for accommodation in Sweden, I take it. You want to live and frolic among polar bears and beneficial paternity leaves. Well, Moder Svea has certainly shoved her face in yours, because this video is all about finding a place to live in Sweden. We will go through 3 websites where you can look for accommodation in Sweden, because we know how to have fun here on this channel. Now, I've already made videos on how to get a job in Sweden and what to expect as an exchange student here, but finding a place to live is arguably the most important one. No one wants to camp outside this time of year, idyllic though it may seem. I mean, imagine going for a piss in 15 degrees below freezing. Never mind finding accommodation, you'll have trouble finding your penis, as we say here in Sweden, which means lavatory. Anyway, I am clearly an expert at this. I find mine almost every time, you know, a bit hit and miss on the weekends, but yeah. Because as you might have noticed, look at this, this is a new apartment. Goodness, I just moved. To be fair, it is my brother's apartment and he did have to wait about 13 years to get it. The housing market in Sweden is like a very competitive lobster. But fortunately, waiting a decade and a half is not the only way to find accommodation. For instance, you can have a look around on Blocket.se, which is the Swedish version of Gumtree, or any website where people put up ads for things they want to get rid of and sell, be it clothing, furniture, or loved ones. There's a tab on top of the page that says Bostad, and if you click it, you can choose if you're looking to rent or buy a place, if you can afford that, goodness, where you want to live, how much you're willing to pay, and just how desperate you are, really. There's usually quite a lot to choose from, especially if you're willing to rent just a room in a flat share. There are apartments to rent as well, but since they are, you know, second-hand contracts on the website, they usually the rent is usually quite steep. A studio apartment in Stockholm, let's say, is usually around at least 9,000 kronor per month. So unless you can wait 13 years or have the money to buy a place in Sweden, that's usually the amount of money you're going to have to cough up, I'm afraid. It can be tricky to find the perfect place. Most ads are written in Swedish, and some only accept women applicants, for instance. Now, if you are a person with testicles who consider yourself not a woman, you can ask if chopping them off at the door is enough. But I wouldn't bet on it. I would get rid of them right now if I were you, just to avoid the risk, you know. I've used Blocket before, actually, when I was studying in Gothenburg, and me and my girlfriend at the time found a 2-bedroom-ish apartment for, I think, 5,000 a month. Slappy approved, I suppose. But if you don't find any luck on Blocket, you can also go to bostaddirekt.com, which is clearly the sexiest website on the internet. Here you can choose if you're looking to rent through a company or privately, which at least makes it seem a bit more professional, I suppose. You can also sign up with an international ID number, which is pretty cool, and there is an English version of the site, although most ads are still written in Swedish. If you're using Google Chrome, you can choose to automatically translate the page, although speaking as a professional translator, know that you should hide your face and weep if you do. You also need to register to see the landlord's contact details, which I think you're going to have to pay for. But I mean, if you have refreshed Blocket like 50 times the last minute or so and you're craving some new ads to get disappointed by, this is another place to look. Yeah. Another thing, and this goes for Blocket as well, some landlords frequently look for tenants on these websites as well, rather than putting up ads on their own. So creating a nice profile on there is usually a good idea. I know that on Blocket you can also make your own listing for landlords to check out. So here are a few tips to make yours stand out. Obviously you need a good profile picture, one that exudes decency and responsibility. Give a short description about yourself, why would you be a great tenant, and why can they count on you to pay the bills and so on. You should also mention whether or not you have any pets, and if you're a smoker or not, and also just how many felonies you definitely haven't committed. And lastly, if nothing else works, you can just go on Facebook. Yes, not just to scroll along and try to distance yourself for a moment from your drab and wretched life. But there are actually quite a few Facebook groups for people who are looking for accommodation in Sweden to join as well. These are usually for individual rooms or studio apartments, and the whole thing is obviously a bit more social and a bit less structured. The good thing here is that you might actually meet people who are in the same shitty situation as you are, who are looking for accommodation in the same city. You can be buddies in homelessness, kind of. Apparently the biggest 3 are these ones, and I have put links to them down in the description. There are links to the other 2 websites there as well, as well as a link to the Wikipedia page for screwdrivers. Once you have found a place, you will have to pay a deposit of about 1 or 2 months worth of rent, which you'll obviously get back as soon as you move out, as long as you haven't wrecked the place, you know, as long as you haven't removed the wall between the living room and the kitchen because you wanted a nice dining area. I'm sure you'll get your deposit back. So there you go. I hope you found this video helpful, and lastly I would like to wish you all the best and good luck on your accommodation hunting. Yes, if you keep refreshing these pages you'll find something eventually, and I mean, if all else goes to shit, you can just crash at my place. We only have one single bed though, so you, me and my brother are gonna have to share. We only have rubber sheets as well, and I hope you're fine with incestuous fisting. Alright, until next time, thank you for watching and toodaloo.